Hello, Sweden. Welcome back to the Caribou Data Science channel. Today is Monday, January 18th here in the U.S. I'm getting ready to run my first of my three Swedish reports this week. I try to run them, you know, 3 times a week. This will be the first of the weeks. Let's come back over here, come down here to Sweden. Yes, okay, good. So this was 3 days ago, so let's do this. Okay, let's go ahead and fire up this report for Sweden now. I do have one request to ask you today, just one. That is that you click on the share button at the bottom of the screen and share the link with this report with one other person you know. That's it, just one other person. Because I know that you know either someone who is Swedish or is Sweden is concerned with the COVID-19 pandemic in Sweden. Okay, so they need to see this report so they can understand exactly what's going on. Now, here's the first thing, which we discussed before, of course. They're only recording numbers Tuesday through Friday. So that means that this number here, which is Tuesday, is actually the total for Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Now look how this exaggerates the number of cases. Okay, look how this exaggerates. If you simply looked at a plot and you didn't realize what was going on, you would think, oh my gosh, we had over 30,000 cases in a single day. No, this is over 30,000 cases for a 4-day period. Okay, the actual daily totals are closer to these down here. Okay, now, do I believe that the cases and deaths are increasing in Sweden? Probably. That's not a bit surprised, but it certainly isn't increasing by this month. Now, if you look at the same data as a 7-day moving average, you can see it does fill in some of the gaps. All right. Now, this is the same thing as for deaths. You can see once again, although there's not as you can still see that the deaths are here. Now, to me, this says deaths probably are. I mean, did you really have over 300 deaths? And no, in a single day, no. This you had over 300 deaths, or 350 deaths for a 4-day period: Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So if we say 300 divided by 4, what is that? That's 70 to 80 deaths per day. Look at the numbers back down here. Okay, okay. Again, a 7-day moving average. Now here's the data. Here's just the raw data. Look at all these spikes. You saw all these spikes here are these spikes here. Okay, and that's why this is, to me, this is slightly misleading. It doesn't really give you a clear picture of what's going on a daily or weekly basis. Now this is the 7-day moving average of the same data. Now we get a better picture. Now we can see the natural fact the cases were about 7,441 for a 7-day moving average here. So what this spike means is this means that for the previous 7 days, Sweden has averaged 7,441 cases. You can see the climb up here because this 7-day average smooths out that the missing data. The falls here. This is probably Christmas, New Year's, but now it's back down here for January 11th. It's 5,214 cases. What about deaths? You can see again we got these spikes here. Now we look again. If you look at this, you see, oh my gosh, we had almost 300. We had almost 350 deaths. No, on average, you had about 127 deaths. Okay, so you see, this really exaggerates the facts here. Okay, let's look at weekly cases now. We can see here once again the weekly cases take into account the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So therefore, you have the total cases from Sunday to Saturday. Okay, but you can still see, yes, you have a problem. You had over 50,000 cases a week ago. You can always see, unfortunately, the cases for for this week is already here, almost catching the current number of the last week's high. Deaths, well, this could be that you don't have any deaths reported so far for this for as of the 18th. Okay, the last week's deaths was the worst death so far. Monthly cases, we can see that January cases are about half of, unfortunately, about half of what December's cases were, and January deaths with about say 2 weeks to go has almost caught December's deaths. So that is not good information. That's not good, obviously. Now now here we're comparing 5 countries in the EU with a population similar to Sweden's. So the range is 9 to 12 million people. Unfortunately, you can see that Sweden is in second place, but it's behind Czechia by quite a bit. So you can see that Sweden's case totals, it's about, this is 50, it's 100, so this is 75,000 total cases, and they're in third place, and you're in third place. You're in second place. You have the second most cases so far. Unfortunately, deaths, you have the of these countries, of these 6 countries, you have the most deaths, at over 2,000 total deaths. Okay. Now, if we take the cases and split it out again by, I hope you appreciate all these pretty cards I got for you folks today. We split the cases out by, if we split the cases out by country, okay, you get a little picture, you get a little better picture of how the data, how the cases and deaths are working. Note that this y-axis here is different for each country, but we can still look at the shape of the data. Okay, the shape of the cases data to give us some comparison with Sweden to the rest of the countries. Now here's total deaths. Okay, now once again, the y-axis are adjusted for each country. But you still get a picture of what's going on in Sweden as far as COVID-19 deaths. Now, these are cumulative deaths. The cumulative deaths, again, mean it's just the total number of deaths from the date of the first date to the date of the first COVID-19 cases to any date along the line. It's a total from the first case up until the current date, whatever date you're using along the line here. So you can see here, you start out relatively flat, but here sometime about November, you really started having a spike up, an increase in cases. Okay. Deaths is a little more interesting because you had the initial spike like everybody did back in April, but then around May you start to level off. But again, sometime around November, you begin to climb up again. Let's take a look at cumulative cases and cumulative deaths. The interesting thing is the cumulative cases kind of look similar in terms of shape of the data for all 6 of these countries. But cumulative deaths is distinctly different. I mean, look at these countries where they had basically no cumulative deaths for the first 3 or 4 months. Then all of a sudden they started to spike up. So that's kind of interesting there. Okay. So that's the report for Sweden for today. I hope you found this interesting and useful. And again, I want to ask you to click on the share button and click on and share the link for this report with one other person. One other person this week. That's all I'm asking. Just one share for each viewer, because I know you know someone who's interested in the COVID-19 data for Sweden. Okay. Thanks so much for your time. We'll catch you in a few days with an updated version of this report.